bones are gone. I'd reason with him, but there's too much wine and too much glitter, swimming in dye, too many lies. She's twisting my words, I can do what I like. She lives for the day, and now it's all over tonight. I'm owed an apology for she'd seen the last of me. She's all bones and salt cellars. Mapping out the pleasure on see-through dresses. She's all bones and salt cellars. Take away the innocence, she confesses. I know she couldn't take anymore. He's the one she was put here for. Hold my head down, lose the pace, aiming far too high. There's always tomorrow. She is, when all her friends are gone. I'm using her pen, but there's too much wine and too much glitter. She's so heavenly. She's all bones and salt cellars. Mapping out the pleasure on see-through dresses. She's all bones and salt cellars. Take away the innocence, she confesses. Salt cellars. Salt cellars. Salt cellars. Salt cellars. Laughing at the pleasure on my see-through dresses. Delivering the innocence, she confesses. Laughing at the pleasure on my see-through dresses. Delivering the innocence, she confesses.
Hello, my Mercurial mercenaries. Welcome to another episode of Expose. This is an episode I've been quite looking forward to because you just heard a song called Salt Cellars, which I recorded a long time ago, probably 20 years ago now. So that song might be older than some of you, but we're trawling my back catalogue over this series. And for those of you who have asked, when I've asked for questions for my Q&A sessions, and some of you have asked, what sort of music do you do, Mercurial number 6? You could do no worse than to watch this video and to watch the previous videos in this series. Like I say, that was a song called Salt Cellars, and it's a song I haven't listened to for a long time, like most of the songs in this series. It's not like I sit around here all the time listening to my own music going, oh, but on the other hand, when I do choose to delve back into the pile of the past, I do quite often surprise myself, because it is quite possible, my mercenaries, to, along the road of life, to kind of forget. I mean, it is blowing my own trumpet, but sometimes you need to blow your own trumpet. It's sometimes easy to forget just how good you are, and you might find this yourselves when you delve back into your past. It is sometimes easy to forget just how good you are. So, as is the case in this series, we are now going to talk about that song. We're going to talk about the making of the song. We're going to watch the video I've just made, where I mimed along to it. We're just going to watch that and just talk about. And I haven't given this any thought, so this might bring tears to my eyes, because we're now going to dwell. We can dwell in the present and delve back into the past of the song Cellars. So, first of all, the fact is that this song opens with piano. You might hear piano and violins. And someone commented when they were asking me a question, "Hello, Mercurial number 6, what sort of music do you make? I imagine it's synth, electro heavy." Well, look, this is just a pick from my past. But I like this song because it's quite organic. And it really does sound like a band in a room, to me anyway. So already, we've got quite a lot going on there already. We've got a massive drum beat. We've got, I think, acoustic guitars. We've got a little bit of fiddle, and we have got a little bit of synths in the background going like that. 20 years ago, that was all the thing. Interestingly, have a listen to this again, right? And listen to the instrument that isn't there in the mix. This is something that, on the whole, people don't think of doing. But when you do what I'm about to do, it's really powerful. Right, listen to this again, right? Let's start it from the beginning. Listen. Listen. Use your ears. Listen. It sounds big, doesn't it? But listen, what's missing? And what comes in on the verse? What is it? The bass. I basically played all the instruments on this track. I wrote this song, I played all the instruments, bar the obvious, and I chose to not bring the bass in till the first verse. I think that's going against the grain even to this day, but the power when the first verse comes in. I know this is going to be a lengthy video, right? But let's just rewind time just once more and listen to the power. Now you know what's coming, right? Listen to the power. We've got a riff on the piano. So now we bring in the bass.
How pretty she is when all her friends are gone.
Just listen to that. That's just going for bass and drums locking together. There is a little bit of keyboards in the background, but basically it's bam, 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 bam. How pretty she is when all her friends are gone. I'd reason with him. How pretty she is when all her friends are gone. I'd reason with him. But there's too much wine and too much glitter. I think what we have to do here when it comes to the lyrics is rewind my life back 20 years when this is probably a breakup song. Like I've said on previous exposés, it's sometimes hard to remember exactly where my motivations were and why at certain times in my life. But just having listened to this song when I was recording the mimed video earlier, I think it's a breakup song. I was going out with a girl who, she could have been a model, to be fair. She was thin, attractive girl. and too much wine, too much glitter. Hard to remember quite what I was getting at there, but she certainly wore. It's, you know, I'm a bloke. I might be wearing a little bit of an effeminate shirt right now, but I'm a bloke. I'm a bloke. No, I'm not a bloke. Ooh, he's a beta male. Oh, I'm a beta male. But before we used to go out, she would put like a glitter makeup on. She'd like pour glitter all over this area here. You know, like between breast and neck. This nice area here. It's quite a nice area, isn't it? There. She put glitter there, so I don't know. Maybe that's what I was getting at here. Too much wine and too much glitter.
I'd reason with him, but it's too much wine and too much glitter. Swimming in dye, too many lies.
Okay, remember, a songwriter should never explain lyrics too thoroughly because you have to leave them open to interpretation from the people, from the audience. And that's kind of what's happening here in a way, because I am interpreting these lyrics. I am a different person to the person I was 20 years ago. So this is me as an audience member interpreting the lyrics of the 20 years ago Mercurial number 6. So this is an interpretation. I'm allowed to interpret this lyrics. There's too much wine and too much glitter. Swimming in dye. Too many lies. Swimming in dye. I think the girl used to dye her hair. Too many lies. Perhaps she was a bit of a liar. Liar! Liar! So into the first kind of bridge section here, and just listen to how absolutely massive that sounds. To my ears, anyway. Going back into the verse.
She's twisting my words. I can do what I like.
So what we've done here is we've brought the verse on from the first verse to verse 2, and there's the obvious thing, which is the violins have come in. Van, 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 van. But also listen to the bass guitar. I'm playing around on the bass, whereas on the first verse I was quite static.
She lives for the day.
Let's just listen to the first verse again. Right, first verse.
How pretty she is when all her friends are gone.
Very straight. Bum 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 bum. Very straight. Second verse. Right, second verse.
She's twisting my words. I can do what I like. She lives for the day.
Going around, I'm walking around there.
Now it's all over tonight.
So it's that combination of the bass is now walking around, and we brought in the violins.
I'm owed an apology for she'd seen the last of me.
Let's just listen to those lyrics a minute.
She's twisting my words.
She's twisting my words.
I can do what I
like.
She lives for the day.
She lives for the day.
Now it's all over tonight.
Now it's all over tonight. She's twisting my words. I can do what I like. She lives for the day, but it's all over tonight. I'm owed an apology. Thought she'd seen the last of me. I think this might come from a place where when you're let down by someone, you think that they probably think they put you down, brought about your demise, and it's just a kind of reminder to people that you haven't seen the last of me. I mean, maybe, but she probably did see the last of me.
I'm owed an apology for she.
Okay, going into the chorus now. See how big it's getting? The song's just doing this. And if you notice, this is a sing-along song. if you're in the crowd now, you can go, ah, you can put your hands in the air. Ah, you know, she's all bones and salt cellars. Ah, mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. When it comes to the idea, the motivation for this song, I'm a massive fan of Tony Hancock, Hancock's Half Hour, and there was an episode, and it might have been the blood donor. I need to go back and check, but Tony Hancock described a girl as being all bones and salt cellars, and I loved that phrase. I loved it through my childhood watching this particular episode. I loved the phrase. She's all bones and salt cellars. And I knew exactly what he meant. A kind of skinny kind of model type girl who's all bones and... I mean, I don't know what he meant by it, but to me, all bones and salt cellars. And so, she's all bones and salt cellars. Ah, mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. Mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. I love that line as well. This song, as well as being like nostalgic value for me, listening to it again now makes me realise it's good, isn't it? Oh, blow my own trumpet. You'll be typing down below now, this song is shit! She's all bones and salt cellars, mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. This was sort of 20 years ago, and kind of through the Britpop era, and yeah, through that kind of era. I remember I used to buy this. Was I buying this girl dresses, or was she buying the dresses? I can't remember which way round it was, but there was like a thing at the time that sort of see-through dresses. They actually had like a flesh-coloured inside lining in them, but they looked see-through. And we'd go out together and people would be looking at her thinking, Christ almighty, that girl is practically naked. And it's all right when you're the boyfriend, I suppose, it's all right. Apart from, it's a bit weird, actually thinking back. But anyway, she's all bones and salt cellars, mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. Oh, it's very, I usually say not sexually, but no, very, very sexually. very, very sexually.
Mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. She's all bones and salt cellars. Take away the innocence, she confesses.
Take away the innocence, she confesses. She is innocent? She seems. My mercenaries. She is innocent, she seems.
I know she couldn't take anymore. He's the one she was brought here for. Hold my head down, lose the pace.
Oh, listen to the bass, drums, and piano.
I know she could.
Bum 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 ba bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 bum. One thing that I did at the time, and people used to comment on it, was it's so easy, and it's not wrong. AC/DC and various bands have done absolutely fine with it, but it's very easy as a bass player just to hit the root notes. But what I would do is I'd play around with it. So if you listen to what the bass is doing there.
She's all bones and salt cellars. Take away the innocence, she confesses. I know she couldn't take anymore. He's the one she was brought here for. Hold my head down, lose the pace. Aiming far too high.
Oh, a little slide. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Listen to the very end of that. Boom, 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 boom.
Lose the pace, aiming far too high. There's always tomorrow.
And into the solo. And there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on in this solo. So it's ended up as a violin solo, but if you listen to all the layers there, listen to what the bass is doing. because it's quite interesting. The bass is locking with the drums. The drums are doing a diggity ding 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 diggity ding 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 diggity ding, and the bass is going bum bum ba 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 da bum ba bum bum ba 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 da bum ba 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 bum bum ba ba da bum ba bum. I think if my 20 years memory holds. Yeah, it is. But there's a lot going on there. Dare I say it? Probably too much going on there. If I could have the tracks back and be able to mix this like they do on like classic rock album documentaries now, I've got to admit I would take a lot of the synths out. I'd love to strip this song back to just drums, bass, acoustic guitar and violins with my vocals on top and the female vocals on top. That'd be great. I'd love to hear that. As it stands, it's just a really full pop song. It can't be undone. It can't be undone, unfortunately. So as you can hear, the electric guitars are coming quite strongly there. So, how pretty she is when all her friends are gone. So I'm basically repeating the first verse, aren't I? I'd reason with him, but there's too much wine and too much glitter. So the first verse would go, swimming and die, too many lies. But the second verse goes, the second time I go, this is the third verse, isn't it? This time on the repeat of the first verse I go, instead of going swimming and die, I think I just go, she's so heavenly. Hang on. But there's too much wine and too much glitter. She's so heavenly. And then I leave it. So there should be two sets of words there. She's so heavenly. And sing something else here. But no. She's so heavenly. And then cut. And just leave space. Like Eric Clapton said, it's the space between the notes that are important. Be prepared to leave space. I wish I'd left more space in this song, to be fair. One of the other things I like about this, though, is on this repeat of the first verse, I bring in some more female vocals, and the duet between the two types of vocal kind of changes the nature of the verse. Listen to it again. Well, just listen to the interplay on this bridge section again. How massive is that? Right. That's two guitars there. That's your old bringing one note up to meet the other. It's, you know, it's an Alice Cooper thing. And now we've got the female vocal joining in. I'd reason with him. Okay, she doesn't join in, she sings it. So I chose to not sing that line, which is a bit odd. But listen to it again, I think it works. It's like, it's a back and forth. We're together, but then she's telling me. So listen to that again. The way that I drop out, and then she tells me. Here we go. And then we come back in together. There's too much wine and too much glitter. She's so heavenly. Look to the skies. Now, could you hear that then? In the gap where there's supposed to be silence, listen to what I say. So heavenly. Just listen to that again. What happened there was, so in the studio you're recording these vocals, right? And I think I used to mess around while I was recording them as well. And I think on one of the takes, in that gap, she's so heavenly. And there's this gap, and I've just gone, let's see those hands in the air. And what's happened is, that's ended up in the final song. It was never intended to be there, but there must have been a moment where we were mixing it in the studio and that vocal was somehow sneaked onto the take. And I probably said, just leave it there. I quite like it. It's silly, but I quite like it. Listen to that again. And now we're into the final chorus. So all the instruments are in now. We've got so much going on in this song. We've got a slide guitar. I'm playing slide guitar as well, which is quite important. It's one of the main riffs. It's actually on a slide guitar. So you've got synths, you've got piano, you've got probably 2 tracks of acoustic guitar, you've got a few electric guitars, you've got a slide guitar, you've got multiple tracks of violin, you've got female vocals, you've got male vocals, you've got a fabulous drummer, and you've got my intricate bass lines. You've got a lot going on. I mean, that drum beat is fantastic. It makes you want to move. The days before auto-tune and lining up drum tracks on grids, this is just recorded live, basically. Take away the innocence, she confesses. And then I bring another guitar in there. So now I'm going ding 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 ding, and the violins. It certainly helped that I was able to bring one of the greatest violin players in the world into the studio. I did do something interesting here. The female vocalist. This would have been sort of the turn of the century, 99, 2000, around that time. And what I've done here is I sampled her saying something, one of the lines. So I am using sampling, but I'm using it in quite an intricate way. I'm in quite an early way. I'm just doing it kind of. I think I'm bringing the samples in manually here. So in the background, I think I'm putting them through a filter just to give it a little bit of what sounded contemporary at the time. I would say it sounds dated today, but probably not, just due to the live nature of all the instruments. When you've got drums and violins and acoustic guitars, and it can't really sound. This could be recorded today. There are bands still recording like this today, I think. See that? See-through dresses, see-through dresses, see-through dresses. That's in the background, and I'm just filtering it. Listen to that again. She confesses, see-through dresses, see-through dresses, see-through dresses, she confesses, she confesses, and then we've got the outro. We've got the outro where I just thought, sod it, I'll just stop singing. Let's just give it to her. Let her take the song out in style. We've got everything going on. The drums are absolutely going for it at this point. This, I mean, it could almost be heavy metal. It's so full on. But obviously, acoustic guitars, violins, it's never going to sound like heavy metal, but the spirit was there. Yeah? So let her take it out. Outro. And what's nice is, because the song starts, how pretty she is. She's all bones and salt cellars. She is all bones and salt cellars. Mapping out the pleasure on her see-through dresses. Her see-through dresses. On the end, on the outro here, because it's the girl singing, she can sing it from her point of view. So it becomes mapping out the pleasure on my see-through dresses to take away the innocence. So she's there, she's singing. I can imagine her sort of, I don't know what I'm imagining, but sexy girl singing about mapping out the pleasure on her own seafood. Listen to that again. That's a sexy ending to the song.
Salt cellars, laughing at the pleasure on my see-through dresses. Liberating in the sun, she confesses. Laughing at the pleasure on my see-through dresses.
Oh, that line there. On my see-through dresses. Oh, the way she sings that. Mapping out the pleasure on my see-through dresses. To take away the innocence, she confesses. Oh. I told her at the end to just laugh, and she was a bit self-conscious about it. But I said, don't worry, it'll work. It'll work. And I think it does work. What can I say? That's a song that I enjoyed writing. It took a long time to write that song. We currently live in an environment where everyone can have a digital audio workstation on their computers, and I think everyone does it. You can see King Gizzard doing it in their own documentaries. I think we all tend to kind of write and record at the same time. We're coming up with ideas, we're already recording them, we're piecing bits and pieces together. Songs kind of are constructed in a studio, they come together. This song was written back in a time where I had a notebook and an acoustic guitar, and I would write things down, and I'd record ideas onto tape recorders and build it up over time, and then we'd work it out in rehearsals, and so the song was fully formed. It's just a different way of working, but it was different times, and I really enjoyed it. And the studio experience on that song was great. And I got to say, the final result is one. I think it's probably one of the better overall songs that I've done. We all have a path in life, and my path now is to be the Mercurial number 6, and that is what I'm being. So there you go. That was the most latest episode of Expose. Let me know if you want more of these. If you did enjoy this episode, and if you did enjoy this episode, it's not an episode, it's an episode. If you did enjoy this episode, you've got plenty more to go back and listen to, so please go and do that. For the moment, thank you. Thank you. That was Cellars. Over. Yeah. Over and